from Lincoln. This is 1011 Now at 5.
Coming up, honoring the heroes who died in the line of duty. The bill that just passed the unicameral to help families in the grieving process.
Plus, fixing one of the most dangerous roads in Lancaster County, and local tax dollars only have to foot about 15% of the bill. And failure, why lawmakers can't agree on changing Nebraska's prison system, the most overcrowded in the nation. More on those stories in a moment. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kelsey Passold. And I am Bill Shammer. We start tonight with weather. Ken, I was wearing gloves this morning doing yard work. I almost had to put a hat on, and now we have record high temperatures.
91 so far today here in the capital city, breaking the old record of 86. We have high potential for severe storms tonight, Bill, and that's what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of minutes. Right now in the capital city, partly to mostly sunny skies, and we're still at 90 here at the studio, 91 at the Lincoln Airport, and we have south-southwest winds gusting to nearly 50 miles an hour. Here's a look at that Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook. Again, it's about the eastern quarter of the state that has the highest risk for severe storms as we head into the evening. Already have a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight for northeastern portions of Nebraska. Red flag warning until 9 o'clock tonight for all of these counties in red, and then wind advisory over eastern portions of Nebraska through early Wednesday morning. Wind gusts 40 to 55 miles an hour, not even counting where we might see damaging winds from severe thunderstorms. So here's a look at satellite radar. Again, you can see no activity, at least no threatening activity right at this time. But as we move from 6 to 7 o'clock, more thunderstorms are expected to develop between 7 and 8. We could be looking at that line of storms between Tacoma, Lincoln, and Hebron. And then those storms will continue to work their way towards the east and southeast between now and midnight. As far as radar is concerned, again, no immediate threats for the Lincoln area, but we're keeping an eye on areas, again, along and just south of Interstate 80 and also up into the northeastern part of the state. But no severe thunderstorms ongoing right now. We've got temperatures in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and lower 80s. The winds are howling across the state. Ahead of that front, they're out of the south and southwest up to 50 or 55 miles an hour. Behind the front, they're out of the north and west at 50 to 55 miles an hour. And our temperatures by 10, look at these numbers, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s from northwest to southeast by 10 o'clock. We'll have complete forecast details, walk you through the severe weather threat for the evening ahead in just a few minutes.
In less than a week, this session of the Nebraska legislature will end without passing major criminal justice reform, despite an independent study and a data-driven approach.
Senators involved say the state passed up its best opportunity to create real change. Others say the reforms were too soft on crime. 1011 Now's Bailey Bischoff has this in-depth report into how a year-long effort to solve overcrowding led nowhere.
Bill, Kelsey, at the beginning of the legislative session, senators were armed with new data and new ideas for how to slow the growth of Nebraska's overcrowded prison population, which is estimated to increase by 1,300 by 2030. But now the senators who led the charge for those changes are leaving empty-handed and disappointed.
The motion to invoke cloture does not succeed.
Senator Steve Lathrop says this vote, which killed LB 920, a sweeping criminal justice reform bill, is going to cost Nebraskans.
By defeating 920, this body made a commitment to spend probably $500 million on additional prisons that we probably can't staff, and with no relief in sight.
LB 920 was born from a month-long study by the Crime and Justice Institute, a nonprofit called in by the state. It looked at why Nebraska's prison population keeps growing. Then a working group came up with 21 policy changes that would cut 1,000 inmates from 2030's projected population. Of those 21 suggestions, senators disagreed on 4 sentence reforms.
Things that law enforcement, judges, county attorneys told me would really jeopardize public safety.
The proposals she disagreed with include capping mandatory minimum sentences, making possessions of small amounts of drugs misdemeanors, and limiting the use of consecutive sentences. Proposals Senator John Sinner says are not drastic or dangerous.
You know, you just kind of run into that soft on crime type of rhetoric, and it's difficult to get around.
Geist proposed an amendment to LB 920 that eliminated sentence reforms and focused on services for those with mental health and substance abuse problems.
And I would contend if we got a hold of both of those populations, we could decrease the population currently.
A CJI analysis of the Geist amendment found it would only cut 125 inmates from the 2030 projections, 875 fewer than the bill in its original form. Geist also says she believes the state needs to build a new prison regardless, but Stinner, head of the Appropriations Committee, says building won't help overcrowding, because in his 8 years in the ledge, they've added 808 beds and $100 million to the budget with no results.
It's probably one of the fastest growing items that we have in our budget. We need to confront it from a fiscal standpoint. We had the opportunity to do that, and we didn't.
Lathrop says he believes the failure of this bill was political.
You can stand up and say this was about public safety, and in reality, the data shows that we're sacrificing public safety by maintaining the status quo.
Senator Geist says law enforcement, judges, and prosecutors were worried the measures in LB 920 would make Nebraska less safe. I reached out to those stakeholders to find out what they had to say about LB 920 and the measures it proposed. I'll have what they told me tonight at 6.
Bailey, before we let you go, this new prison, I think last quoted at $270 million. Is this a for sure thing now?
Not necessarily. Lawmakers tell me they're still waiting on more reports, which are expected to come this summer before any concrete decisions can be made.
Bailey Bischoff reporting. Thank you for that in-depth report.
Governor Ricketts has announced that flags will be lowered to honor a fallen Nebraska firefighter. Elwood Volunteer Fire Department Chief Darren Krull was killed in a crash as he and other crews battled a wildfire in central Nebraska last week. Flags will fly at half staff from sunrise to sunset tomorrow. Krull's funeral is also set for tomorrow in Elwood. And in the state legislature today, senators passed a bill to increase the one-time death benefit available to families of public safety officers killed in the line of duty. Last year, a similar bill passed, which provided $50,000 to the affected family. The bill that passed today increases the amount to $250,000 for a death this year. And for deaths that happen in future years, the amount would increase based on how much the Consumer Price Index has gone up. The bill passed with a 34-6 vote.
An update tonight, a historic home dating back almost 150 years is now considered a total loss after it caught fire overnight. These are images from the Ashland Fire Department. Crews were called to the Israel Beedison house just after 2 o'clock this morning. That house was built in 1875 and was added to the National Register in 1976. It was sold in 1999 and had been vacant ever since. The fire marshal is still investigating the cause.
A dangerous and sometimes deadly stretch of road in southern Lancaster County is looking at an upgrade.
The county engineer's office received millions in federal funding to make that happen. 10/11 Now's Madison Pitch joins us in the newsroom with more. Madison?
The Lancaster County Engineer's Office received $9.2 million. They tell me they've been studying how to improve this road from Stagecoach to Firth for 3 years. What you're looking at right now is a crash map. It's designed similarly to a heat map. The red and orange areas are the ones where crashes are most likely to happen. The southernmost road is South 68th Street. The crashes concentrate outside of Norris schools. Lancaster County Engineer Pam Dingman says this project will change the road to meet modern standards. Right now, the width of the entire road is about 22 feet, which doesn't give much room for error, especially when a lot of people traveling are younger, inexperienced drivers.
Make them into 14-foot lanes, which will give drivers more room to recover. In addition, we will be adding shoulders. We're also going to do some sight distance improvements in the corridor, as well as intersection improvements.
Dingman says the $5.3 million from NDOT and the $3.9 from the Lincoln Metropolitan Planning Organization makes it possible to work on the entire stretch of road at once. County taxpayers will pick up $1.6 million of those project costs. Final approval for this plan is expected to happen this week, and construction could start in 2025. Coming up tonight at 6, more from Norris school leaders and why they say improving this stretch of road is so important for their students. Reporting live in the newsroom, Madison Pitch, 1011 Now.
All right, Madison, thank you.
Still ahead on 1011 Now at 5, a rare but potentially deadly disease has found its way into the U.S.
After the break, we'll look at how the disease affects the brain and what doctors are urging high-risk people to do. Later on, your full forecast. Right now, a look at your Lincoln Weather Almanac.